Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. One, two, three. There we go. We're live. All right. So, today we are going to study the Abrahamic lineage, mostly the lineage um, of Abraham, anyway. See, as they can be identified as Arabic, Judaic, and maybe otherwise Hebrew, but we have to be able to determine that in some other way. But for right now, we'll just consider it as Abrahamic and or Hebrew, but probably most of them are Abrahamic anyways. So let's go to the add it to the stage, the map, and get into it. Okay, there we go. Now, here we go. We're starting out with a J1. Now this can be Israelite and it can be Arabic. Let's just go ahead and follow the lineage here. See what happens. Okay, it starts out in the Levant area. Let's see. I don't know if we can zoom in on this or not. Let's try to zoom in. See what happens when we zoom in. Okay, we got some defining factors here. Put it in the middle. Okay, so we got two different lineages right here. Let's go back, slide left. Okay, so we got two lineages started here. This is Z2215. It's already going into Europe. This is according to the age, and then there's Y6313. Okay, they're starting out in the area, of course, of Mesopotamia. So, well, I guess just below Anatolia, but upper Mesopotamia, anyways, which is to be expected, can be expected. So we have some movement back and forth here and around and around. Okay, so this is the origin of the J1 according to the age of the finding. Of course, some of this ended up being the Aaronic J1P58, and some of it is, of course, Arabic. Now, which is a good question. Maybe the blue lineage is the Israelite lineage. Maybe the orange one is the Arabic. But let's go ahead and see how this turns out. So early on, they had trade all the way up into basically the land of Ashkenaz, the son of Gomer, because that's where the R1A is. So let's go ahead, map this out some more. Well, there's a J1 there. Maybe it's hard to say. Maybe that's Arabic. It's hard to say. Anyway, I have to go look at other charts to see which is which or what's what. But it's still consistent with a J1. The main one is a P58. I don't know if this will show any more divisions or not. I'm not seeing a whole lot more divisions. I would think there would be some more divisions. But apparently that's all we have yet for right now is these lineages. It's the Z2215 and the Y6313. These are the basic two. Which is pretty interesting. Now, if I went to my file explorer here, let me see if I can find which of there's Z2215 and 6313. Or maybe if I just go to the internet, we can find it. Let me just go ahead and go here. If it will cooperate, see what I can find here. J1B haplogroup. Yeah, this one J1 tree. So let's look at the J1 tree here. So now this J1 tree, here we have the 2215 and the 6304. The Y6304. Which appears to be the two lineages. And of course, the P58, where's the P58? There it is. P58 is the descendants of Aaron, which of course we have Jewish here, and Jewish here. Definitely Jewish, or well, of Israel. Anyways, it's not Judaic because it's not the tribe of Judah. It would be the tribe of Levi. So this P58 is a tribe of Levi. Probably this one over here too is a tribe of Levi in the Middle East. Okay, so the 2215 is definitely Israelite tribe. Now, that might mean this 6304 is Arabic. Anatolia, Europe, doesn't say. But anyways, probably more study is needed to find out the Arabic lineages because probably there's more of them. But we have the J1A 1 and the J1A 2. Now this is Europe, Caucasus, Turkey. Nothing Judaic. At least not according to this information. This J1A 2. I suppose that could be Arabic too, but it's hard to say because there's no Jews in it. There's Caucasus, Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan. There's no. If it was Jewish, there's no or Israelite. There's no indication that it's Israelite. So we have the divisions of J1A in the Levant, Arabia, Europe, Red Sea, Jewish, and Jewish. Of course, that is the co-modal haplotype, J1P58. So these would be definitely of the tribe of Levi, the descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother. And who knows, maybe these are the descendants of Moses over here. I don't know. But anyways, this definitely identifies Levi the lineage of Levi by way of the chromosomal haplotype through Aaron, who was the tribe of Levi, and it also identifies J1 as being Abrahamic, or at least and or Hebrew, but probably Abrahamic. Okay, but anyways, let's see how we're doing here. Let's see how we're doing here. Actually, I wanted to go to StreamYard. Well, I gotta go. Gotta go over here and then over here. So there we are. Hopefully that worked okay without too much trouble. Now let's go investigate the J2 lineage if we can. Let's go ahead and back out here. So we'll back out and we'll put in the J2. Good. Let's see, we'll go ahead. Does it work? Yeah, okay, it's working now. Somewhat. Don't want to complicate it too much. But it does appear to be slowing down here. We got connected. There we go. There's J1. Now we got to go to J2. So we'll go to J2. Actually, before we do that, oh, wow, what was this? That's not what I wanted. Anyway. This is interesting because you can look up their individual lineages. We're trying to get a general idea here of how things are set up, how things work, and then later we can look at specific lineages. So we got the J2. Actually, we could go. Actually, we could do that. We could see. Have to go to here. J1 again. And we could go P58. And it should give us a lineage of P58. There's a little bit of patience. I tried another computer hoping that it would work better, but it actually worked worse. So we have to be patient with this one here. I don't know if it's internet traffic or what, but it's definitely not as good outside. Okay, now this is P58 here, which is pretty impressive. I mean, significant number of people. And of course, they found the people in Africa that were descended from Aaron, identified by the J1 P58. So let's just go ahead and see how this works here. I guess we'll go with the peoples, see if the peoples works. See how good that works. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's working real good, but see if it does. Anyway, this is covering a significant area here. It's mostly not in Europe. So, but it is identified as a coronal haplotype, descendants of Aaron. And that would be the brother of Moses. Let me see. Let's see if anything's going on in the studio. Nothing going on in the studio. See, pay no attention to this guy over here. That's the other computer. Anyway, let's go back. See if this will start working. Now it's getting kind of annoying, but anyways, well, it's working. It should be working. It's not a cloudy day or anything. It's not even. It's not even working like it's supposed to. But let me see. Well, if it's this bad, then I guess we're not going to have much fun with this. Could try to open up a new window. Try to open up another one. Just go out of this one. Okay, so we'll try again. We'll go with, let me see, let's just go ahead and go with a J2. See if we can find J2. As long as it's taking a lot of time, anyways. Find a J2. I don't know why the peoples. I would think the peoples would be easier to bring up, but maybe I'll have to stick with the other lineages. So I don't know what's different between the peoples and the lineages, but if you bring up the lineages, it shows the lineages of the people, but if you bring up the people, it doesn't show the lineages. So let's go ahead and try to bring up the J2, and there it is. So we have the J2. We'll just go ahead and hit this right away so I can start going. And there's the J2. Okay. So maybe we can zoom in. That might be a good idea. We'll just knock some of these off first. And these are the original lineages, the oldest lineages of J2, most of which are Israelite tribes. It'd be Judah and some of the other Israelite tribes, possibly. But let's see what we got here as far as number. We have the M410. Yeah, the 410, I think that's the lineage of the M172, which is possibly the descendants of David. Okay, now let's do the slide effect here and find out where it started from. Okay, so the J2 basically starting in the same place, at least according to them, their findings. So immediately it's in the Black Sea area. Somehow there's something in the Black Sea. Maybe it flooded later, I don't know. In the Mediterranean Sea as well. And it's just basically in this area. It's to be expected. Of course, the Babylonian, Tigris Euphrates area, and more. But also keeping in mind that whenever the tribes were exiled, they were exiled to Babylon, which would be Mesopotamia, which is the reason why they're all. And of course, in the days of Solomon, there were the Phoenicians and the Phoenician trade, which is clearly demonstrated and seen right here. So, moving right along, there's travel to America right away for some reason, which is another thing. Know. It's like, how in the world can you have travel to America 7,900 years ago? But who's to argue, right? That's their date that they came up with. There's 6,000 years are already in America, even close to South America. In South America, 5,800 years ago. Probably a lot less, probably half that, at least. But we also have travel into, there's Trinidad again, right there off the coast of Venezuela, Colombia, and Venezuela, the area of Trinidad. For some reason, that was a big spot there. So we can look up, let's just go ahead and look up J2 lineages if we can. J2Y. J2Y haplogroup lineages and images. We'll go to the images. And here's the J2. Or here's the J2. Okay. Open image and new tab. We'll try that. That seems to work the best. And here, you have to magnify this one here. Okay, there's J2 172, M172. That's already okay. Then it splits up into 410 and M102. Okay. I know this is probably not very good, but the thing is there's more J2 than M172. But in this case, it's split up into 410 and M102. Okay, so that helps a little bit. Okay. So here it is. The same lineages here. But these are both of these are I mean, this is strictly Judaic. This is not even it's not even other tribes. It's not even other tribes possibly. But the J2, actually the M172, which is both of these, that is the largest group of J2. So I'm guessing that that would be the descendants of Judah, and specifically probably the house of David, because it is the largest group. But maybe it's just this M410. It's hard to say. Let's back up the timeline again and look at a broader perspective. And right away, you have travel in the Mediterranean and beyond. Okay, so to me, that's an indication of the Phoenician travel, which included, of course, the J2, the J1, and many other haplogroups like the G, the T, the R1b. They're all in this area here in the Mediterranean. But it's interesting how separated this J2 is from the J1, including and predominantly the P58, which is the descendants of Aaron, which stayed more to the south, which is a little surprising to me, not for any you know bad implications or anything, but I just I thought they would be more together, but they're not, because remember the J1 was throughout North Africa and Saudi Arabia, and here right away we have J2 up in more in the northern part, even though J1 started up in the same area as well. J1 started in the same, moved to the south. J2 in this area and moved to the north. I'm just wondering, this is an island here or what is it? Because it looks there's some islands here. You got Cabo Verde, you got the Canary Islands, you got the Azores. These are all places that were visited, but I'm just curious as to what's here in this place here. If there's an island there, or what is there? What's there? Sometimes it'll show something being there, but I don't know. It doesn't look like there's any island or anything here. And it's in the middle of the ocean. Okay, I'm gonna have to backtrack probably. One, backtrack one or two. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything there really. So guess there's no information on that. But it's way off the coast of the United States or America, as it were. Early on. This is very, very early on. So, and I don't expect there to be anything in these other places either. But if you remember, the coast of Africa, the Mediterranean, the coast of Africa here is a jumping off point to reach America, especially by the descendants of the Medes, which populated most of America with the Q haplogroup, which of course is also in the Mediterranean area. But Yeah, this is kind of interesting, really, because of how separated these lineages are. And of course, today, of course, you have more spreading out of the lineages. But that's it. There's J2. Well, there's more lineages between besides just the J2. I mean, just besides the M172. Like here, there's more lineages besides this. I can't open up no more. But I don't know if there's a better picture. What's this, J1? No, this is the J2. Oh, okay. Anyway. Oh, there it is. It's better. It gave me a bad picture. So yeah, there's a M410. I can open this in another window. Open link, open image, a new tab. There I go. There it is. That's better. We'll get rid of this. So a phylogenetic tree of haplogroup J2, except there's more J2 than just M172. In order to prove that, probably have to go to my images here. And where do I go? See if I can find a pie chart. Pie chart of what? I ran. Oh man, all time. Let me just go ahead and go through here. Boom. So Balkan Turk. Well, I don't know the filing system the way this is. I don't know why it does this. Anyways, I'm looking for the Iranian or the Persian people. I get to the pie charts. I have to go through all this to get to the pie chart, but it should have started right out with the pie charts. But maybe I'll get to it someday. It's 172. See, it has 172 split up between 410 and 102. But according to this other pie chart, if I ever get to it, there, I got the Uyghurs. Look at the Uyghur percentage. Now, this, if you know where the Uyghurs are located, this should be a surprise to you because this is in China. Well, it's a territory that China claimed as their own. And of course, we know how they've been being treated. But look at the percentage of Judaic here. The J2 being Judaic, of course. The K being Tubal, that's interesting. 18% descended from Tubal, which is in Asia, pretty much. And the R1A, very large percentage of the R1A. We have the Elamites, 8% Elamite. And O, of course, is Magog in the area, the predominant haplogroup in the area. Well, it's only 6% here, but Elsewhere in the area, the predominant haplogroup is O from Magog. C is from Nimrod. There's some more O. Q is from Madai, the beads. Of course, goes all the way to south to Australia, to the Pacific Islands, South Asia, North Asia, all the way to America by way of the Inuits. But then the actual lineage of the majority of the Native Americans with a Q haplogroup, excluding the Inuits, came by way of Central America. This is a new finding that was a real surprise to me because the genetic lineages show clearly that they went to Central America first, both with the Q haplogroup, the A maternal haplogroup that accompanied the Q, the C maternal haplogroup that accompanied the Q, and the D maternal haplogroup that accompanied the Q to Central America. So all of these haplogroup, 4 of them, went straight to Central America. And I have a video on that, which is very interesting. Okay, D, of course, is the Canaanite tribe of Sin, or the tribe of Sinim. And that's the namesake of Sino, China, the land of Sinim. That's where the name Sino comes from, the tribe of Sin, or the Sinim tribe. N is Meshech, 2% Meshech, which is in Siberia, from Siberia. R, of course, is probably, I don't know if it's R2 or what kind of R it is, but this is R1A. This is Ashkenaz. That we study this, the more interesting it gets, really. There's another sampling of the Uyghurs population, large percentage of J2. It's Kazakhstan, there's a large percentage of descendants of Nimrod in Kazakhstan, Tartars, Altai people. Now, the Altai people is interesting because this is where, of course, where the Denisovan DNA was found, but it's a huge percentage of all R1A today, which is interesting. Let's see, we got D. This D here could be the reason why the Denisovans are similar or have this Hamitic mixture. The Denisovans are a mix of Eurasian and Hamitic. And there is a D here. Now, where's the other one? C? There's C. There's C right there. So they both C and a D are in the area as well to this day. That's C2. That's O2, J2. Now, why J2 would be there is, is interesting, but, well, probably because the travel along the Silk Road and such. Meshach, pretty large percentage, and the beads, large percentage. That's the Q. This is when it goes to America, but by way of the Mediterranean, off the coast of Africa, and to the Central America. Yeah. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. Mongolians. Here you go. Mongolians are largely descended from Nimrod. But we're still looking for there's a Sephardic Jewish people, basically almost half percent. The G, part of this is Judaic too. R1B, I mean, it's all Judaic because of Sephardic Jews, but R1B, R1A, and the E. E would be like Egyptian. Balkans, Turk. This is J1. Well, I don't know what happened to my picture. Armenians. Maybe I have some more somewhere. But it's a lot of study. This is interesting here because these are all Sephardic Jewish populations. You might think it's a sampling of the area, but it's Sephardic Jewish population because look at the J2. Mediterranean J2 percentage wise. But the interesting thing is what's not here. What's not here is the T. And the T, according to Dr. Nathaniel Jensen, is the Jewish haplogroup somehow. But the T belongs to Eurasian haplogroups anyway. But he has switched the Semitic with the Eurasians. He thinks the Eurasians are Semitic, and he thinks the Semitic people are Eurasians somehow. I don't know what. Everybody knows the Eurasians went north, and the Semitic people stayed in the center. But somehow he thinks that it's switched around or something. So, there's no T here. The only place there's a T is in Portugal, in the Jewish population, and not even all the populations. There's Balkan Turk. Here's a Portuguese. What is this? Y haplogroup. Okay. So there's a T here. This T is in one group of a Portuguese Jewish population. They call it the Bragança Jews. In Bragança. But the Belmonte Jews don't have any T, and they have more J2, as you see. They have a lot more. They have like almost two-thirds of the population of Belmonte Jews are J2 Judaic. It's J1, 2. Yeah, it's J2. And then you have the I. It's a dark green, not there. I guess it's dark green. Anyways. So the only place in the Jewish population that I can see is in the congregation of the Bragança Jews. It's the only place where the T, and of course Tarshish, the city of Tarshish is right around here somewhere. Tarsis, and that's the descendant of Javan, who is designated as having the T haplogroup. Chromosome among the Jews. Okay, not this. Ashkenazi Jews. Again, basically almost 0.5%. Of course, some of this is all Jewish too. Of course, they're all Jewish because it's all mixed, obviously. But the origin is almost half Judaic. Again, this 3%. That's if you add in the 14 or 15% T of the Bragança Jews. Then you get a 3%. Well, it's Ashkenazi Jews, but it's not as significant. The Mediterranean, the Sephardic Jews don't have any T, which is really interesting. And it'd be interesting to find out how to. Well, a T is actually, it could be any of the other ones because there's Elisha, Donanim, Kittim in the Mediterranean, all descendants of Javan. So it could be any one of those in the Jewish population. In the days of the Phoenician, of course, there was Phoenician trade stuff, so that would explain the T in their population. Here's the X2A in the Great Lakes and the X2A in Galilee. Go figure. Of course, these are all Native American tribes here. Oops. Anyway, so if I can find it. Now this is the Denisovan. Remember the Denisovan? People most in common with Denisovans is people with Hamitic admixture. Oops. Hamitic admixture here. Here's the Denisova cave way up here in the Altai Mountains. I don't know if you can see that. Denisova cave way up in the Altai Mountains. But today's population, most people with Denisovan DNA are in these areas influenced by the Hamitic population. And why is it in South America like this? Well, it's because of the C haplogroup descendants of Nimrod in this area here. So that explains that very well. So these are the 16 grandsons of Noah. These are the 16 original ancient civilizations: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tiraz, Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, Canaan, Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram. So the Aram of the Arameans, Lud of the Lydians, Arpachshad of the Hebrews and Arabs, Elam of the Elamites, of course, Canaan of the Canaanites, of course, Mitzrayim of the Egyptians, of course, Cush of the Cushites, of course, Tiraz of the Thracians, of course, Meshech went up into Siberia. That's the N haplogroup. Tubal is the K. It's from Italy all the way through South Asia as well, all the way to Australia, as a matter of fact, and Papua New Guinea. Javan, here we have the 4 sons of Javan: Elisha, Tarshish, Dodanim, and Kittim. Tarshish is in Iberia, and these other ones are closer to Crete, the island of Crete, the area of Crete. So we have Madai of the Medes, of course. Magog is the O haplogroup, which is in East Asia. Gomer, of course, went to Europe and all the way to India as well. And as we saw in the Altai Mountains, very high population in the Altai Mountains for some reason. Ashkenaz, R1A, Ripfeth, R1B, Togarma is R2. So the W is a haplogroup that accompanied the Medes. Medes, of course, were in this area in Europe. It's connected. Now here, just to reemphasize, you have the K2, 8% of the population of central Italy is K2, 8% today of the original inhabitants of Italy, or the principal original inhabitants of Italy. Of course, the rest are all outsiders. This, J2 is from the outside, J-I, G is the Assyrians, E is Mitzrayim, R1B is Riphath, R1B, R1A, whatever. But 8%, that's a huge signature of the descendants of Tubal in Italy. Okay. There's our world map. there's anything we need to see here. Except it shows the, well, it shows the J1P58 designated as Middle Eastern and Semitic, which is correct, but it's only one lineage. It's the descendants of Aaron, J1P58, as we just saw. Again, descendants of Javan in the area. You can see where they were. Elisha, Dodanim, Kittim in this area. They were in Cyprus and the island of Rhodes, Dodanim. Tarshish is way over here. Tartizu. That's a common name in Iberia, is Tarsizu. Tarsizu is a common name that used in, well, even in Brazil. This comes from Tarshish, the Tartizus. That's the descendants of Javan. It's the T haplogroup, and of course, with the Portuguese having almost 14% or something of the T haplogroup from the descendants of Javan. The other T would be coming from Dodanim, Elisha, and Kittim. This all descendants of Javan. So they're not Judaic, they're not Israelite. They belong with the Eurasians. They belong with Magog, Meshech, Tubal, Tiras, Javan, of course, Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Madai. These are all Eurasians, and they all went north and east. Okay. Of course, here's Babylon, Tigris, Euphrates. This is where it all started. Ur of the Chaldees, the Abraham came from the Sumerian city called Ur. So that's where Abraham was from, and of course the J1 and the J2 both begin in this area here, around in this area here. So that's pretty clear to me anyway. So R1A, R1B, and then the I, which they misname as Germanic. It's not Germanic. I is definitely Semitic, which we can look into as well. I've been through this before many times. Might get annoying. So in America is brown. America, brown. Largest haplogroup, of course, Q. This haplogroup here is a huge R1b. That's in the Great Lakes region, the R1b. And we have a T. T is that Mediterranean haplogroup of Elisha, Dodanim, and Kittim, and Tarshish, which in the days of the Phoenician and the Mediterranean trade, apparently, as far as I can tell, went to the New World, because it's the T, it's the J2, it's the J1, it's the I2, and the I1. And of course, these aren't huge populations. I2 and I1 aren't huge populations, but they show up really strong here in the Native Americans. G as well. What's G? Assyrian. That would be, and Judea. It's almost like interchangeable between the Phoenician signature, Judaic signature, only in different amounts, pretty much interchangeable. There's B. We saw B before going into America early on. E as well in America. Mostly it's Mitzrayim. But conspicuously missing from here is the C3. For some reason, they have They got D. They got C1, 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 C2, no C3. If there was C3, it would show up as brown here in America too. But it's conspicuously missing from the chart. And of course, Q being the haplogroup that crossed the Atlantic from the coast of Africa to Central America, as indicated by the Q and the mitochondrial DNA of A, C, and D. So someday we're going to get to there. There it is. There it is. This is what I've been looking for all this time. So we have Iranian DNA here. And this is significant for other reasons as well. These are the Persian people today. Wide DNA frequency of the Persian people. What do we have? What's the largest group is what? Let's see if we can bring this up here. J2M172, 20%. Now, to prove and show that I wasn't making up a story, there's J1 there, there's J1 there, which can also be Judaic, possibly Arabic. But if it's, let's see, the M267, we have to see what the M267 is. But anyways, what I wanted to show was this J2M172 of 20% is not the only Judaic population. It's not the only J2 population. There's J2A4, M322. It is not M172. Where am I going? It's not M172. And there's a J2, another one, another J2 here, another J2 here, and another J2 here. So these are lineages here, which are not 172. There's M158. Keep that one in mind. There's M319. Keep that in mind. And there's S51 and M322. So that's just to show that M172 is not the only J2 there is. So that chart is a little bit incomplete. So that's this chart here. You have the this is J1, not the J2. But we saw the J2 as well. Here's the J2. So this is incomplete for the J2 to be only M172. It's not only M172. There are many, many other lineages of J2. So now that we got that straightened out, we'll try to go back here. And we'll look at this lineages. This, as a matter of fact, this distribution here of J2 is only the lineage of M172. Because if we see here, this is the M410. It's the M410 and the M102. So I hope this thing don't freeze up on me. Okay, so yeah, there we have it. It's the M410 and the M102. This is only the J172, M172. I don't know what that's doing there. Anyways. There we go. All right. So back here, we're going to now try to find some of these other lineages. We're looking for something besides M410 and M102. So we'll go here. Now but there's so many of them, so many of these lineages. I can't even remember which ones I was looking for. Some of these might be the 172 lineage. There's a 410, there's a 102. Okay. Let me see. Oh, this is what I'm looking for here. Let's go here. Let's see if I can get these numbers here. We're looking for M319, S51, uh, M158, and M322. So these are what we're looking for here. Okay. Bring this down. I'll say it. So we'll go J2. M. Or is it M? No. It's a little bit complicated here. Let me find an M. Okay, J dash M. Okay, so I'll go J dash M dash M. Okay, these are all the M's. There's 158 right there. So we'll go to look at the lineage of J M158. And this lineage is a lineage that's way. So there's Persia. So this lineage is one that's in India, northern parts of India. The J2 lineage. It's probably a branch off from here, but it's still J2. So it's probably just Judaic. It's just a lineage, a Judaic lineage. Or specific tribe or lineage or something, a tribe or something. Maybe the descendants of Thomas. I don't know. If you know anything about Thomas going to India. Anyway. So there's that one. Let's see what else we have here. What else we can find here. There's M319, M322, and S51. Okay. So it's M. We'll try the 319. There's 318, 319. We'll see what comes up with 319. And there's 319 is basically still Persia and Turkmenistan area. Of course, this area here has the most haplogroups than any other area in the world. So it has the J2. It has Q, of course, the R1. It has more haplogroup lineages in this area of Turkmenistan than anywhere else in the world, which of course is just, you know, showing that this area here and this area, these areas too, have similar amounts, but just shows that this is where all the haplogroups came from. So we have that one. What else are we looking for? We're looking for, actually, I should have done that. Let me see. 322 and S51. Okay. So we got 322. Where's 2? I'll just go 2. Ah, it's not even on here. 322 is not even on here. How about an S? We'll look for an S51. S5. No, that's not on here either. Anyways, as you can see, there's a lot of separate lineages that can be investigated and studied. Most of them are like lineages that branch off. But just to show you that J2, M172 is not the only lineage there is. It's not the only one. There's M322, huge population. S51, good percentage. Well, it's 3 and 2%, but still. M158 is 8%. So there's still other J2s besides M172, which, I suppose could be other Israelite tribes, or they could be just branches off. I don't know. But it's not under this designation of M172. I suppose it could be Arabic or something, or something like that, or Hebrew. But anyways, let's go to the I's now, the I. Because J isn't just J, it's IJ. It's an IJ lineage. And I belongs or branches off from J. Anytime you have something far removed from its original location, it's given another letter designation. So we'll go to the I. I1 and I2. I have I1 designated as the tribe of Dan so far. Maybe, possibly other tribes, I'm not sure. I2 I have designated as Asher. Maybe, possibly other tribes. But for right now, that's all I can see, because they have this idea that the 10 tribes of Israel went to Europe or went to England or whatever, but the evidence isn't really showing that. But I1 being Dan, of course, was in England, but not as the tribe of Dan. They came as Vikings. And I2 is descendants of Asher. They follow the movements of the tribe of Asher, but look how far removed this is here. Look at how far removed this is. Let's go ahead and I can't, somehow it won't let me. Oh, there it is. Now I can move it. Okay, there's the I haplogroup, and the I is what? Germanic? No, it's not Germanic. Here's Germany right here. Does it have Germany north and south? North of Italy. There's Germany right here. North of Italy. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the distribution of I. See where it all goes. It's the migration. There it goes. It's all basically from Europe. But it is it branches off from J, so it's obviously Semitic and the descendants of Abraham. So let's go back in time. Go back in time here. See where it all starts from. Okay. Let me see if we can zoom up here. Zoom in here. Let's see what's going on here. So we have I1. Basically finds itself in Scandinavia, which isn't necessarily true because my lineage comes from the Northern Alps, which is right here as soon as it shows up. My lineage is traced back to the Northern Alps of this area. They obviously traveled down the Rhine River, which is due north, ended up in this area here, and up in Scandinavia. My my name is a Scandinavian name. It kind of identifies me as Scandinavian. That's when I have the I1 haplogroup. But yeah. So I can trace my lineage all the way back to Edinburgh, Scotland, right here. Edinburgh, whatever. My lineage goes back to this area here, Scotland. And it's an I1 lineage that is traced back to, it's not the lineage of the Vikings per se, but it's, I don't know if you call it a sister lineage, a brother lineage, or whatever. I don't know how it could be a sister lineage if it's a Y chromosome. But anyway, it's traced back to the Northern Alps, as I said. So I'm a little bit skeptical that it starts off in this area here, especially being that it branches off from the J1 and the J2. It's branches off from there, so it's Semitic. It's not Germanic. It's Semitic. So let's just see how it progresses here, how it spreads out. You can press this. Well, I don't want to do that. Might get myself into trouble. Okay, so watch this spread out a little bit from there. Of course, this is my lineage, or cousin lineages. And there you have it. I1, mostly in Northern Europe, very far in Northern America. Of course, Denmark is said to have been named that because of Dan. Danube River said to have been named that because of Dan. Sardinia, interesting, Sardinia, but they named it all kinds of different names depending on what the language was because they couldn't say the original name, which I believe to be Sardan, which is Prince Dan. Anyways, that's Dan. Now let's look at the tribe of Asher. So we'll go with I2. So I2 has a different spread, and it more resembles the movements of the tribe of Asher than the tribe of Dan, because I didn't think that that Dan was I1 and I2. And of course, then again, if there's other tribes, but I haven't seen evidence of that because that's just one lineage. As you can see, that was one lineage. There's only one color here. There's just one single lineage. There's not any indication of another lineage. But I2 is another lineage. Maybe there's other lineages in with that lineage of I2 that could be other tribes, but we'd have to see, and we're going to see here in a little bit. It will load the I2, which, it overlaps, of course, in some of the same areas, but as you can see, they're not, it's not really this as much in the same area. So let's go ahead and hit the lineage icon here. And then we have I2. Okay, so we can go back in time. Now this one has just one lineage as well, looks like. But let's go back in time. That's just one lineage. It's showing I2 as beginning more in the area of what do you call this area? This is like all the Slovakias and stuff. The Balkans, that's what you call it, Balkans. So this area, and of course the Danube is here somewhere. Danube River. Anyways, there it is. It starts out with CTS2257. Now, whether or not that's all of I2, I don't know, but anyway, so what we got to go by right now. And it's found in Italy, it's found in the Balkans, run around in Italy. Okay. And Europe, many of the same places up in Europe as the I1, only they might have been more the people down here, the Anglo-Saxons, instead of the Scandinavians. My lineage is more of a Scandinavian lineage. This lineage is more of the Anglo-Saxon area, it looks like. At any rate, they did go up into Ireland, come to think of it, quite a bit, which is interesting, and of course, lower parts of Scotland. But this is interesting about, because there's something unique about the Irish people, and it could be that they are descended from the tribe of Asher, to a large extent. According to this, which is very interesting. Now, remember, this lineage makes it all the way over to America too, so let's just go ahead and back out here and see how that worked. Okay. So we got the I2. We'll keep on moving forward in time. And then we have some, of course, this would be, well, it's actually coming straight from off the British Isles. The lineage. It's not even the Vikings. They're coming straight off the British Isles, 4,200 years ago. What does this say? The time of Christ, 2,000 years ago. Yeah, it's already in America. And, but this is the tribe of Asher. The tribe of the Vikings goes into America as well, which I didn't even look at very well. But it probably has much of the same only comes from the Vikings instead of Great Britain or the British Isles. So that's very interesting. I didn't know that. I learned something new. We have a large percentage of the I2, which would be the tribe of Asher, in Ireland. Of course, I'm half Irish myself, genetically. My mother is like 99% Irish. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the reason for Irish being different than the surrounding area, which is, could be could be a reason to that. That they were largely settled, at least in part, by the descendants of Asher, which I've designated for as I2 for different reasons, mostly because it follows the movements of the tribe of Asher. But so I learned something new today. That's very, very interesting. So yeah, that's interesting. Now I just wonder what percentage of Ireland is I2. Maybe I'll just go look for that real quick. See why DNA project. We'll try that. We'll go to images. Go to pie chart. Is this pie chart? Ireland. Oh, mitochondrial haplogroups, mtDNA projects. This is an MT mitochondrial in Ireland. It's HUT, which is all to be expected. But that's not what I'm looking for. What's this one here? Well, we X this out. It's the same one. I'm looking for a pie chart of the Y haplo. What's this one? Mitochondria. I don't know why they can't provide any simple information. Okay, this. Anyway, they need to get Irish DNA origins. They need to get this straight here. Okay, there's an RM22, which is the majority of the population is the descendants of Ripfath. We'll just open image and new tab and look at it here. So, wow, I'm even learning more. Scots Irish M223. Oh, Scotch Irish is M223. That's the other lineage of is it? Wow. Okay, these yellow ones are I. This is IP37, 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 IP37. This is IM223, which I think is I1, but it's another lineage of I1. It's not my lineage of I1. Oh, that's very interesting. So we have RM, what's A? RM222, RM198, AM31. What's A doing there? That is a little bit out of place, but if it is what it is, if it's an A haplogroup, that would be interesting. Okay, down here, we have the I and the I1. I1, this is, I guess, I2. I think that's I2. This is I down here. M253, that's my haplogroup. This is my lineage right here. M253, that's my lineage. So that's I1. P37. These other ones they got to be I2. These other ones like P37 and the P37, 37. But this M223 and this M253, these are both this is my lineage. The M253 is my lineage. This is a branch off of I1. These are both I1, M223 and M253. And M253 is my lineage. But I didn't know there was so much I1 and I2, because these areas, these large areas here, are I1. It's I1. But the other ones, P37, are probably I2, which would be the descendants of Asher. So it's both the it's both the I1 and I2 in Ireland. Anyways, I wish I would get a pie chart together so I could see it on a pie chart. So we're still studying the Abrahamic lineage, of course. The Abrahamic lineage being IJ. And I1 resembles the movements of the tribe of Dan. I2 resembles the movements of the tribe of Asher, both of which were seafaring Israelites, and both of which ended up in America as well. Mitochondrial H. No, they can't get a Y chromosome. I don't know why they can't get a Y chromosome. What's this? Ireland. Okay, MTD. There we go. I found one. Let me open this up here. So, open image and new tab. There we go. There we go. Okay, we got Y, DNA 67, DNA 37, DNA 12. What? Y DNA 30%. Autosomal DNA 41%. What? Mitochondrial DNA 29%. Oh, what is this? MT, FF. Okay, so this is mitochondrial DNA. This is Y chromosomal DNA. This is autosomal DNA. What's that supposed to mean? I have no idea at the moment. Y-DNA 12. What's Y-DNA 12? What's Y-DNA 37? What's that? What's Y-DNA 67? I have no idea why they put these. Why can't you just put the Y chromosome designation on there? I have no idea. They do that all the time. That's why it's so hard to study this stuff, because they obfuscate with their information. They don't tell you exactly what the information is. They say, oh, it's some of this, and this is a hunter gatherer, and this is a cordware, and it's just very annoying. But yeah, I didn't know there was that much. There's a lot of I1 in Ireland, and apparently there's more I2 in Ireland than I1, or but I guess it's both. But anyways, that's what makes the Irish unique is the tribe of Dan and the tribe of Asher. So there's that. And we got Random Green TV. He's saying, thank you, JJ. Yep. Thank you, Random Green TV. So, yeah, I'm just doing a study. I might as well do it live, because I've studied enough not to be, I'm surprised sometimes, but it doesn't change my haplogroup designations very often. So at least, and it's less and less too. So let's go back to this. If it'll open up this I2. So I don't know if we can go to single lineage designation. I'm going to try to go to single lineage designation. I'm going to go to I1. Going to go I1. And it's going to go to, let's see, dash. Was this greater than, less than, whatever this is? It's I dash M. Well, I'll go with 1. Oh, it doesn't have it. No, it's 2. It's 2. What am I thinking? 2, 5. Doesn't have that either. Why does it have that? Maybe it's not, I don't have I have to have it uploaded. Go back. I'll just go back to I1. See what happens. Yeah, and notice how these are not separate lineages, at least this information. This is just one lineage, one color. It doesn't split up into different colors. So that's what makes me wonder whether or not any other tribes, Israelite tribes, are included. But for sure, it's the tribe of Dan and Asher. C63, Z, I don't know. Of course, a lot of these lineages are interesting. Maybe someday I'll look at my own lineage, see what my lineage is. There's M227. Well, let me go to M. See what M. Oh wait, you got the dash M. 227. Might be looking at this wrong. 227. Or they just don't have it that way. I don't know. Let me go with M227. See what happens. See what group this is. Now this seems to be tribe of Asher. This seems to be I2. 227. Oh. ethnicity map. 223 and 253 they don't even have. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, let's go ahead and follow this 227, which is probably I2. I2 lineage, which is kind of interesting. I guess it's not showing a whole lot, but where does it start out? Okay, I227 starts out in Anglo-Saxon area, basically. Or is it a lineage of I1? It might be a lineage of I1, come to think of it. Okay, well, that's about it. Okay, so I think that's about it. I think we exhausted the study of the Abrahamic IJY chromosome lineage, pretty much, for right now, until I learn something new, more than what we learned today. And so I guess that's good enough for right now. So here we go. Let me go ahead and remove this. Just God bless everybody. Take care. And truth will enlighten us very much. God bless everybody. Take care.